Hello there, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today we are going to be discussing Those We Drown. I hated this book. I so wish I had put this book on my DNF file, but it was the book club pick. I was determined to finish it. I did not like this book. Honestly, your main character, first of all of the characters are unlikable. You kind of want them all to die. It's like watching Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, sorry, that was the nerd in me. Final Destination, which is a three or four, where they're just all unlikable. You're just like, oh, I can't wait to see them die. Let me just grab my notes real quick, because Liv is your main character. She would be the first person to die in a horror movie, and I say that in all honesty. She would die. She's so incredibly stupid. She gets the chance of a lifetime to go on this all-expenses-paid cruise as an internship, as part of her internship. Come to find out that the person, she only got this spot because the girl before her who had the spot went missing. Now, that's a little unsettling, but not suspicious. And then her friend, her best friend, who is kind of a dick to her. He just reminds me of somebody I used to know. He's a dick to her. And it's so infuriating, because it's just like, how are you guys best friends? So when he goes off and, gets quarantined, they're like, oh, well, at first I think it's alcohol poisoning. She's like, okay. And they're like, no, we think something is terribly wrong with him. We need to keep him quarantined. She sees him. She's still getting text messages from him. And then the text messages start to come out weird, and then they're not letting her see him. The thing is, she doesn't know how to play the game. Again, she's the first person who would die. The fact that he's in the hospital wing to begin with, it just sets off all the red flags in her head. She's like, what? It's just like, calm down. There's nothing suspicious about this. In the beginning, there's nothing suspicious about it. As the story progresses, you can see why she's freaking out. But she goes from instant paranoia. She goes to instant paranoia like that, and it doesn't make sense. Not to mention the fact that, okay, you think something bad is going on this ship. You think something eerie and terrible is happening. Keep your mouth shut. It's like she's never seen a horror movie before. Keep your mouth shut. Stop bringing attention to yourself. That's all she does. She brings more and more and more attention to herself, to the point where I wanted to strangle her and be like, oh my God, shut up. I hated this book. And also, the author, what was really frustrating about this story is the fact that the author couldn't really decide what kind of mythology they wanted to use. Did they want to use Greek mythology? Did they want to use Roman mythology? I will give her props. Ivy does call her out on that. She's like, oh, the ship can decide what it wants to be, Greek or Roman. I get that. But then, other weird things are happening. These black squid-like creatures, we never get any further development on them. The sirens, we don't really know what they are. Are they sirens from mythology or not? There's no clear indication of what they are. And then you also have all the song, the murals, the photographs. So many questions are raised, and not a single one is answered. As far as I know, this is just a standalone. Nothing is answered. The spooky temple that's mentioned, nothing. She does nothing. It's like the author opens all these doors and does not go through any of them or develop them at all, and it was so incredibly frustrating to read that. I hated it. I hated every single minute of it. It was just such an unfortunate read for me. I wanted so much more from it, and I wanted a book that was going to give me Ghost Ship vibes because I love that movie. I love Ghost Ship. It's kind of campy, but I like it. I like that eeriness, you know? And it was eerie, but I wasn't even able to appreciate all those eerie moments because, again, the author does not develop any of them. I could get behind all the characters being unlikable if at least something else in the story was done well. And I just, again, she's the first person who would die in a horror movie. She would. She's just so stupid. She she is a very stupid character. Everyone is unlikable. I couldn't even really connect to the story at all. I'm just like, well, this was such a disappointing read. It was such a disappointing read. It really was for me as just like someone who likes horror and likes gothic stuff and just likes the whole eerie atmosphere vibe. No, skip this book. Just skip it. Don't put it on your TBR. Just skip it. Ignore it. Pretend it doesn't exist. Ignore the beautiful cover. Just pretend it doesn't exist. To me, it doesn't exist anymore. I just want to wash my brain of it and just be like done with it. I hated that ending. It's just like, again, you're doing nothing. You're introducing a lot of elements. You're not following any of them through. You're not making any coherent sense. I don't understand what's going on. And when you have a cast of just completely unlikable characters, it's really hard to get behind the book. So, on that note, this book gets 1 out of 5 stars. 1. Uno. That's it. Nada más. It's just absolutely terrible. Terrible. I don't like it at all. Don't like it at all. Thank you all for tuning into this review of Those Who Drown. If you want to check out the book, which I don't recommend, I never ever really say that unless I absolutely hate the book. If you've seen my channel before, you know I never say blow off a book unless I like to give all books a chance and be like, you know what, didn't float my boat, might float your boat. But I really do think this book was such an absolute and utter disappointment and waste of time. I'm going to say skip it. However, I will include links in the description below if you choose not to skip it, or if you want to see what did this girl hate about this book so much. If you want to risk it, I will, of course, include links in the description below. And on that note, thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to it, and share with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.